Have you ever paused and asked yourself a simple question? Am I truly hydrated or just going through the motions? Because for many people over 60, hydration becomes less about habit and more about understanding. The body you live in today is not the same body you had decades ago. It's wiser, yes, but also more sensitive, more selective in how it uses what you give it. And this is where one of the most common assumptions quietly fails us, the belief that drinking plain water is always enough. Let me explain this in a way that feels real. Imagine your body as a finely tuned system of rivers and channels. When you were younger, those channels were wide, responsive, and efficient. Water flowed easily, reaching every corner. But as time passes, those pathways narrow, their responsiveness slows, and the signals that once guided thirst become quieter. You may not even feel thirsty until your body is already behind on what it needs. Now here's where it gets even more important. When you drink plain water without the support of essential minerals, your body often struggles to retain it. Instead of nourishing your cells, that water can move through you quickly, almost like it's passing by rather than being welcomed in. And what does that mean in real terms? It means your blood may not receive the fluid support it needs to move smoothly. It means circulation can become less efficient. It means you might feel tired, lightheaded, or even cold in your hands and feet, and not realize that hydration is part of the reason. There's a quiet kind of fatigue that many older adults accept as just part of aging. But what if some of that fatigue is simply your body asking for hydration in a form it can actually use? I remember a conversation with a gentleman in his early 70s. He told me, "I drink water all day, but I still feel drained." He wasn't neglecting his health. He was doing what he believed was right. But his body had changed, and his approach hadn't caught up. Once he understood that hydration is not just about volume, but about absorption, everything began to shift. Within a week of making a small adjustment, he noticed something he hadn't felt in years: steady energy throughout the day. This is not about fear, and it's not about complicated routines. It's about awareness. Because as we age, the body's ability to balance fluids and minerals, what we call electrolytes, becomes more delicate. These minerals are not extras, they are essential messengers. They help water move into your cells, where it can actually do its job. Without them, it's like trying to water a garden without opening the gate. The water is there, but it never reaches the roots. And when your cells aren't properly hydrated, your blood can become slightly thicker, your circulation slower. It doesn't happen dramatically. It happens quietly, gradually, until one day you notice you're not as sharp, not as energetic, not as steady on your feet. And you wonder why. But here's the empowering part. You can respond to this. You can support your body in a way that respects where it is now, not where it used to be. Think of hydration not as a task, but as a partnership. Your body is asking for support in a slightly different language now. It's asking for balance, not excess. It's asking for quality, not just quantity. And when you begin to listen, when you begin to give your body what it can actually absorb and use, you start to feel the difference. Your mind becomes clearer. Your movements feel lighter. Even your mood can shift because proper hydration supports every system in your body, including your brain. So the next time you reach for a glass of water, don't just think, "This is healthy." Ask yourself, "Is this truly serving my body the way it needs today?" Because that small shift in thinking can lead to a much bigger transformation in how you feel every single day. Aging is not about losing strength. It's about learning new ways to sustain it. And sometimes the most powerful changes begin with something as simple as understanding the water you drink. Now let's move into something that may sound almost too simple to matter, but in reality, it can make a profound difference in how your body feels every single day. We've talked about why plain water alone may not be enough after 60, but here is where the real transformation begins. It's not about drinking more. It's about drinking smarter. There is one small adjustment, one quiet shift, that can help your body use water the way it was meant to. And that is this: never drink water in isolation. Give it something to carry, something your body can recognize and absorb. Because without that, even the cleanest glass of water can pass through you without truly nourishing you. Your body runs on balance. Inside your bloodstream, there's a delicate harmony between fluids and minerals, what we call electrolytes. These include sodium, potassium, and magnesium. They are not just scientific terms. They are essential guides that tell water where to go, how to enter your cells, and how to support circulation. When these minerals are present, water doesn't just sit in your stomach or rush through your system. It moves with purpose. It enters your cells, supports your blood volume, and helps your heart circulate oxygen more efficiently. That's when you begin to feel the difference. Not just less thirst, but more energy, clearer thinking, steadier movement. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to deliver a package without an address. The effort is there, the intention is there, but it never reaches the destination. That's what happens when you drink plain water without electrolytes. But the moment you add even a small amount of natural minerals, it's as if you've given that water a map. Now it knows exactly where to go. I once met a woman in her late 60s who often felt a sudden wave of dizziness when she stood up. It would pass quickly, but it left her feeling uneasy, unsure of her own balance. She had been told to drink more water, and she did, but nothing changed. When she began adding just a pinch of natural salt and a few drops of lemon to her morning water, something shifted. Within days, those dizzy spells became less frequent. Within weeks, they nearly disappeared. It wasn't magic, it was biology. Her body finally had the support it needed to maintain stable blood flow. And this is where many people misunderstand the role of salt. For years, we've been taught to fear it completely. But the truth is more nuanced. The body needs sodium in the right amounts, especially as we age. Without it, your cells struggle to hold on to water. Your blood pressure can become unstable. Your circulation can weaken. This doesn't mean adding excessive salt to everything you eat. It means being intentional, using small, natural amounts to restore balance. A pinch, not a handful. Enough to guide the water, not overwhelm the system. There's also something deeply human about this shift. It's a reminder that care doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from doing things differently, with awareness and purpose. You may begin to notice subtle changes first. Perhaps your hands feel warmer. Perhaps that afternoon fatigue doesn't hit as hard. Perhaps your mind feels just a little clearer, your steps a little more confident. These are not coincidences. These are signals, your body responding, appreciating the support you're giving it. And what makes this so powerful is its simplicity. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated routines. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. You just need to understand one truth. Hydration is not just about water. It's about what your body can absorb, retain, and use. Because at this stage of life, your body is not asking for extremes. It's asking for balance. It's asking for attention. It's asking for you to listen. So the next time you lift a glass of water, pause for a moment. See it not just as a habit, but as an opportunity. An opportunity to support your blood flow, to nourish your cells, to give your body exactly what it needs in this moment. And in that small, intentional act, you may begin to rediscover something powerful, the feeling of being energized, steady, and truly alive in your own body again. There is one more piece to this that often goes unnoticed, yet it quietly determines whether everything we've talked about actually works for you or not. You can understand hydration, you can improve what you drink, but if you ignore when and how you drink it, your body may still struggle to benefit the way it should. Because after 60, your body no longer responds well to extremes. It responds to rhythm. Think about how you used to drink water years ago. Perhaps you didn't think about it much. You felt thirsty, you drank a large glass, and that was enough. But now, your body processes fluids differently. The signals are softer, the absorption is slower, and the margin for imbalance is smaller. And this is where a simple but powerful shift can change everything, moving from occasional large intake to steady, mindful hydration throughout the day. Imagine trying to water a plant by pouring an entire bucket onto it once a day. Most of that water would spill over, wasted, never reaching the roots in a meaningful way. But if you water that same plant slowly, consistently, giving it time to absorb, it thrives. Your body works in a very similar way now. When you drink too much water at once, especially after 60, your system can become overwhelmed. The kidneys respond quickly, flushing out excess fluid along with important minerals. You may find yourself making frequent trips to the bathroom, thinking you're staying hydrated, when in reality your body is losing more than it's gaining. But when you take small, regular sips, spacing your intake across the day, you allow your body to actually use what you're giving it. There's a gentleman I remember vividly in his mid-70s who prided himself on drinking 8 full glasses a day. He would sit down and finish a glass in one go, several times daily. Yet he often complained of fatigue and interrupted sleep. When we spoke, it became clear that most of his water intake happened in large amounts, including late in the evening. We made one simple adjustment, smaller sips, spread out from morning to late afternoon, with very little intake before bed. Within a short time, his sleep improved, and his daytime energy became more stable. Not because he drank more, but because he drank in a way his body could finally manage. Timing matters more than people realize. The morning, for example, is one of the most important opportunities to support your body. After hours of sleep, your system is naturally dehydrated. Your blood is slightly more concentrated, your circulation a bit slower. Beginning your day with a gentle, steady intake of properly balanced fluids can help wake up your entire system. It's like opening the curtains and letting light into a quiet room. Then there's the period before meals. A small amount of fluid can prepare your digestive system, helping your body absorb nutrients more effectively. And in the afternoon, when energy naturally dips, hydration can often do more than caffeine ever could, without the side effects. But perhaps just as important is what you avoid. Drinking large amounts of fluid right before bed can disrupt your rest, forcing your body into activity when it should be restoring itself. And after 60, quality sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity for healing, memory, and overall well-being. There is also something else, something even more subtle, yet deeply powerful: movement. Your body is designed for flow, not stillness. When you combine proper hydration with even gentle movement, a short walk, a few minutes of stretching, you amplify the benefits. Circulation improves, oxygen delivery increases, and that hydration you've taken in begins to move with purpose throughout your body. I recall an older couple who turned this into a daily ritual. Each morning, they would share a glass of mineral-enhanced water, then step outside for a slow walk together. It wasn't fast, it wasn't strenuous, but it was consistent. Over time, they noticed fewer aches, better balance, and a sense of calm energy that carried them through the day. What they created wasn't just a habit, it was a rhythm their bodies could trust. And that's what this stage of life invites you to do. Not to push harder, not to do more, but to align more closely with what your body is asking for. To replace urgency with consistency and force with understanding. Because your body is still capable of strength. It's still capable of vitality. But it needs to be supported in a way that respects its timing, its pace, its wisdom. So as you move through your day, think less about how much you're drinking and more about how you're caring for your body in each moment. Small sips, steady rhythm, gentle movement. These are not complicated changes, but they are meaningful ones. And when practiced daily, they don't just improve hydration. They restore a sense of balance, confidence, and quiet strength that reminds you your body is still very much on your side.